One small mistake made in the past disrupts the natural course of history and sets off a chain reaction, giving rise to entirely new, aggressive, and mutated species. In the year 2055, a technology was invented, one with the power to either change the world or destroy it, and a man named Charles Hatton decided to use it for profit. Deep in an ancient jungle, a shimmering gravitational path appears. A group of people, dressed in khaki protective suits, cautiously make their way along it. They're all armed, scanning their surroundings with curiosity. One man in particular is clearly irritated. He's not feeling well and everything around him seems to annoy him. The group leader tells him to keep quiet and enjoy the experience. After all, it's what he came for. A moment later, a distant rumble echoes through the trees, and a dinosaur emerges. The man's daughter panics, and both she and her father demand that the creature be killed immediately. But the leader, Travis, calmly tells them to wait, the time hasn't come yet. He watches carefully until the Allosaurus steps into the swamp. Then, and only then, does he give the order to fire. The daughter and her father are both horrified and thrilled, their eyes wide as they watch the dinosaur slowly sink into the bog. Back in the present day, the clients celebrate a successful hunt. The adrenaline rush was so intense, the man is still shaking. Later, the daughter pulls away from her father and asks Mr. Hatton where Travis Ryer is, clearly intrigued by him and not opposed to spending more time together. Meanwhile, Travis is reviewing blood analysis reports from the dinosaurs and speaking with an AI assistant. His work is interrupted by Hatton, who informs him that some guests are waiting and he needs to go meet them. Travis is clearly unimpressed. He has no interest in mingling with the wealthy tourists. But Hatton insists. He didn't build this business out of love for extinct reptiles. He built it to make money. Travis was only hired because having a famous scientist around boosts the client's egos. So if Travis wants to keep studying his animals, he has to stick to his contract, which includes entertaining guests. Reluctantly, Travis heads to the party. There, he hands out souvenirs and plays a video of their hunt, enthusiastically declaring that it was Mr. Wallenbeck who landed the killing shot. The party at the Time Safari building is in full swing, celebrating the guests. Suddenly, Mr. Hatton notices a woman making her way toward the room. Panicked, he quickly calls for security, but they're too slow to react, and before anyone can stop her, the woman douses the wealthy clients in artificial blood. She's furious, accusing them of killing dinosaurs and interfering with the past. She warns them that this could end badly, that jumping through time could destroy the present and future. Finally, security escorts the woman out of the room. Travis decides to follow her and find out what this is all about. In the lobby, Sonia Rand tells him that these time travels are dangerous. She knows what she's talking about, since Tammy is her invention. Travis is taken aback. He's seen the list of Tammy's creators, and her name wasn't on it. She explains that she signed a contract with CJN, which gave her unlimited resources and freedom to conduct research. She created the time machine, but there was a mistake in the contract. Everything she invented and discovered legally belonged to the company. Hatton held the controlling shares, and he made sure to erase her name from all the records, trying to silence her. She believes the world should know that time travel could be catastrophic. Travis counters by saying he has arguments to the contrary. He takes Sonia to the laboratory at the Chicago City Zoo, where he shows her the DNA of a lion's ancestor. This was only possible thanks to time travel. Many animals went extinct recently, wiped out by poachers and later decimated by viruses. Unfortunately, their DNA is lost, and these animals can't be cloned. He can't bring materials back from the past, but Tammy has learned how to collect them remotely. Soon, he will have the genetic material from the ancestors of all extinct species and will be able to bring them back. As for the hunting trips in the past, they only killed animals that were going to die anyway. For instance, they kill an Allosaurus just seconds before it gets stuck in the swamp and 5 minutes before a volcano erupts. The dinosaur won't be able to escape the lava and will die in it. Travis insists that everything is well planned and safe, with oversight from a government agency. But Sonia isn't reassured. She doesn't trust the agency or Charles Hatton. The latter would do anything for money. Meanwhile, in the Time Safari lab, a young man is pushing a cart of chemicals. Distracted by the woman, he crashes into a wall, unaware that one of the canisters has started leaking onto a nearby weapon. Back at his apartment, Travis finds Miss Wallenbeck waiting for him. She tricked the doorman, telling him she was his cousin, and he let her in. The next morning, after a passionate night, Travis steps out of the bedroom and sees his beloved flower in a sorry state. Looking around at the mess and the boxes, the woman assumes he just moved into the apartment, but she's surprised to learn he's lived there for 2 years. Two wealthy men arrive at Time Safari, eager to go on a hunt, even though one of them is quite scared. After talking with Hatton, they sign the contract. Hatton then introduces them to Travis and his team. Mr. Eccles and Mr. Middleton express their excitement about meeting the young scientist before heading off for a tour and vaccination. They're shown the weapons, including a gun that fires ice, and are briefed on the rules. Don't alter anything in the past, don't kill anyone without orders, don't leave anything behind, and don't bring anything from the past back to the present. Once the preparations are complete, the group is ready to travel back in time. Eccles is visibly nervous, carefully scanning the surroundings. He spots a strange insect and immediately tries to shoot it, but the gun malfunctions. It's linked to Travis's weapon, and no one can fire until he unlocks it. Returning to the rest of the group, they stop at the designated point and soon spot an Allosaurus. As usual, Travis waits for the right moment to give the command to fire. Once the dinosaur steps into the swamp, he gives the signal, but nothing happens. The gun is broken, and the group is left without protection. One of the group members inspects the weapon and determines there was a short circuit. Travis decides to distract the dinosaur while Payne works to fix the weapon. Eccles and Middleton are told to hide in the nearest bushes, and as they flee, Travis redirects the dinosaur's attention onto himself. Seeing Travis in real danger, Jenny rushes to help. Together, they manage to hold off the creature long enough for Payne to repair the gun. As soon as Payne finishes, he tosses the gun to Travis. Throwing a flashlight to Jenny, Travis catches it and kills the dinosaur. As the flashlight falls toward the swamp, Jenny manages to catch it at the last second. Just then, the clients emerge from the bushes, clearly scared and unhappy. Once everyone confirms they're safe, Travis orders the group to return to the present. They leave, and on the gravity trail, a wet footprint is left behind. At the celebratory party for the successful hunt, Mr. Middleton voices his complaints and dissatisfaction. However, Hatton convinces him that they've just experienced the greatest adventure of all. Now, they stand alongside great figures like Columbus, who discovered America, Armstrong, who walked on the moon, and Brubaker, who conquered Mars. Impressed by his speech, the men agree with his perspective. At that moment, an invisible wave sweeps through the city streets. Later, Payne examines the issue with the gun and finds the cause of the malfunction. It turns out there was a leak in the box containing the nitrogen bullets. Before the jump, he had checked all the equipment, but the short circuit happened later. Travis requests a change in the preparation protocol. There can never be any mistakes or slip-ups, or the consequences could be unpredictable. In the evening, the scientist returns home, and the doorman greets him cheerfully, commenting on the unusually warm weather. He can't recall in November ever having a temperature of 20 degrees Celsius. The next morning, Travis turns on the TV. The news anchor reports a significant and unusual rise in temperature. She also mentions that thousands of fish were washed up on the shores of Lake Michigan overnight. Scientists at the University of Chicago are studying the phenomenon, but they have no explanation for it yet. The Department of Health also warns of high ultraviolet radiation levels and recommends avoiding direct sunlight. The scientist listens thoughtfully to the news and, looking at his wilting plant, is surprised to see it has become lush and sprouted unusual red growths. After gathering his things, he heads to work. On the way, he notices a crowd of people gathered around the massive roots of some kind of plant. The roots have grown so strong that they've broken through a meter-thick wall. At the lab, he talks to Jenny and prepares for the time jump. Once everything is set, the group travels back in time. As they walk along the trail, the scientists notice that the Allosaurus is already dead, and a volcanic eruption has begun. Travis orders everyone to return immediately, and he and Jenny bring up the rear of the group. Just in time, they manage to jump into the vortex and escape. Once everyone is safely back in the present, the scientist tries to figure out what went wrong. It seems that Tammy made an error in its calculations, and they were 5 minutes late. After the incident, a meeting is called in the conference room. Travis orders Tammy to check for any errors in its calculations, but it insists there was no mistake. It sent the group to the same coordinates as before. Just then, Clay Darris enters the room. He announces that he has filed a report about the incident and declares the business closed until further notice. Immediately after, all employees and scientists lose access to Tammy. Hatton tries to persuade Darris to reverse his decision, but Darris refuses. At that moment, Travis approaches him and says that these changes are most likely a result of the previous time jump. Something must have gone wrong, and they've altered the course of time in some way. He plans to seek help from someone who definitely knows what happened. Right after the conversation, the scientist heads to Sonia's place. On the way, he sees massive roots from overgrown plants destroying the road. Once inside the house, he goes upstairs and finds a crowd of people gathered by the door, demanding answers from the woman. She pushes them away, realizing that the scientist won't open the door for him. Travis decides to leave. However, outside, he meets a delivery person who brought fertilizer to the woman. Disguised in the delivery worker's uniform, Travis manages to get into the apartment. There, he tells Sonia what's been happening. It seems like it's their fault. They must have changed something during the Cretaceous period. But he's certain no one strayed from the path, and the reptile died in the right place. Sonia is outraged, as she had warned this would happen. She then asks Travis to look out the window. Just then, a shockwave of some kind sweeps through the city, knocking them both off their feet. In the next moment, they hear a desperate scream. When they open the door, they're horrified to find an unknown woman covered in spiders. The insects crawl across her apartment, and the scientists narrowly escape by blowing up the apartment and leaping out the window just in time. Once outside, they notice everything has changed. The trees have grown to unimaginable sizes, and buildings have been destroyed. As they take in the scene, Travis wonders why the changes are happening now, even though a full day has passed. Sonia explains that when something in the past changes, the present changes gradually, in waves. And this isn't the last wave, there will be more, and they will get stronger. The shifts in evolution they've caused will continue in waves. First climate, then plants, being the earliest life forms. After that, more complex life forms, and the final wave will affect humanity, and no one knows what humans will become. When they arrive at the Time Safari office, the scientists ask for permission to make another jump in time to try and fix their mistake. However, Darius firmly refuses. He can't allow it. Travis explains that he will go back just a minute before his team arrives, meet them, and immediately return them to base, preventing them from making any mistakes. After thinking it over, Darius still denies the request. Pulling him aside, Hatton convinces him to give the green light, saying that what happened is also partly his fault. If they can fix it now, no one will ever know. Reluctantly, Darius agrees. The team immediately starts preparing. Sonia adjusts the Tammy and calculates the correct coordinates. Travis heads to the past right away. But something goes wrong. When he exits the portal, he finds himself in a desert instead of the jungle, with riders racing across it. A second later, he notices that a new wave is approaching. The scientist rushes back to the portal and returns to the present. But in the next moment, a time wave crashes over the entire city again. When they wake up, the scientists activate the backup generator and are horrified to see that the lab has been completely destroyed. After discussing what happened, they decide to review the footage, hoping to see what went wrong during their time jump. Unfortunately, it doesn't help. The only moment something might have gone awry is when Eccles and Middleton were hiding, but there's no camera on their equipment. While the others are examining the footage, Payne discovers something interesting. He tells the group that their team came back 1.3 grams heavier. This means they brought something back with them, which shouldn't be possible since the biofilter would have caught it. At this point, they learn that Hatton and Darius had turned off the biofilter to save money, claiming it used an enormous amount of energy. Furious at the businessmen's greed, the scientists check their protective suits and shoes but find nothing. This means they'll need to check the clients. They decide to start with Eccles. He's very cowardly and might have strayed from the path while hiding. Meanwhile, Sonia comes up with a plan to send Travis into the past, bypassing the time waves. He won't have time to bring the team back to the present, so they need to figure out how he can warn them about the danger ahead. In the meantime, Payne tries to reach Eccles by phone. Realizing they have no other option, the scientists decide to go to him in person. Armed and ready, the team sets out. Once they leave the building, they see that the streets have turned into a jungle. Carefully making their way through, they stumble upon signs of some kind of predators. Suddenly, one of the plants attacks Payne and injures him. The men help him up, but the plant's venom is already taking effect. At some point, mutated creatures, likely once monkeys, attack them. Knowing he's doomed, Payne volunteers to distract the dinosaur primates and give the others a chance to escape. Reluctantly, they agree to his sacrifice and leave him behind to be torn apart by the creatures. The group continues to push through the jungle. Along the way, Sonia says that if they manage to set everything back to the way it was, they'll have to make sure that Time Safari is shut down. However, there's a catch. By fixing their mistake, they'll forget all about it. Finally, they reach Eccles' house. Looking over the fence, they notice there are still some survivors nearby. They see a boy and a man coming out of the enclosed area and running into a nearby store searching for food, but the shelves are empty, completely ransacked. Suddenly, a mutated monkey jumps on the man, but Travis manages to save him just in time. Together with the survivors, they head toward the enclosed area, and after a bit of convincing, they're let inside. There, they find Eccles, check his clothes, and find nothing. Their only remaining option is Middleton. Eccles tells them that Middleton is living at his office, and there's a garage in the basement where they can grab a vehicle. Descending to the lower floor, the scientists find a vehicle and head to Middleton's office. Upon arriving at the building, Travis asks Jenny and Lucas to stay behind and guard the car, while he and Sonia head inside. They discover the bodies of several people, who seem to have been stung by thorns. The venom drove them mad, causing them to kill each other. Making their way to the right floor, they find the man, but he's clearly out of his mind and opens fire on them. The friends try to explain that they mean no harm and just want to talk, but Middleton is blinded by the venom, and he ends up taking his own life. After searching the office, Travis finds a hunting suit and boots. On the sole of one of the boots, they spot a crushed butterfly. Returning to the car, they find Jenny and Lucas shooting at birds. As they get in, Sonia tells the others that Middleton crushed the butterfly. It was a female that was supposed to lay eggs, and her death disrupted the course of evolution. Suddenly, the car is attacked by flying creatures, huge, mutated bats. One of the monsters rips through the roof of the car with its sharp claws and drags Lucas away. The others realize that their time is running out as well. But just then, a new time wave hits, sending the car crashing into the lobby of the Time Safari building. Inside the lab, they examine the equipment and realize the situation is grim. As they walk through the water on the floor, they stumble upon Hatton's lifeless body. Sonia tells them that she won't be able to send Travis into the past from here. They'll need to find another location. If they can pull the hard drive from Tammy, they'll only need to find the portal. Sonia remembers that there's a university nearby with the portal they need. While Travis starts searching for a protective suit, he opens a cabinet and finds Darius hiding inside. With fear in his eyes, the man begs them to stay quiet so they don't wake the creatures. When the group shines a flashlight on the ceiling, they're horrified to see sleeping dinosaur monkeys. Carefully retrieving the hard drive, the scientists invite Darius to come with them. but he refuses. At the last moment, he changes his mind and climbs out of his hiding spot, but he barely takes a step before the creatures sense him. After escaping the lab, the team discusses how to reach the university. Travis suggests they take the subway tunnels, as there's an entrance nearby. Once underground, Jenny sees water and hesitates, unsure of what monsters might be lurking there. However, they have no other choice, and Travis jumps into the water first. As they navigate through the tunnel, they find a train and decide to pass through it. A moment later, the tunnel ceiling collapses, trapping part of the train. Water begins to pour in, and the team finds themselves trapped. After a brief moment of thought, Travis says that there should be ventilation ducts in the tunnel, and if he breaks a window, they can escape. Just then, one of the windows shatters, and the head of a water monster grabs Jenny. The train car quickly fills with water, and as Sonia is pulled under, Travis calms her down and dives in with her. But a mutated piranha appears in their path. Travis shoots at it, scaring it off, and pushes Sonia toward the broken window, where she manages to escape to the surface. Meanwhile, Travis continues fighting the monster underwater. His weapon stops working, and he's forced to use a knife. Realizing he's losing the fight and will soon be eaten, he's lucky as the ceiling collapses again, crushing the water serpent beneath rocks on the train. The water pushes the unconscious scientist to the surface, where Sonia catches him. She revives him and helps him reach the ventilation duct. Once outside, they run as fast as they can toward the university, pursued by mutated monkeys. After finding the right lab, Sonia starts up Tammy and asks it to make the time jump. She warns Travis that it will be painful, as it's an unusual jump. He'll spend a second in time, a year before the hunt, and then immediately return to the hunt's moment. Meanwhile, the dinosaur monkeys try to break in. Wearing a protective suit, Travis tells Sonia that they'll need evidence. If it works, they won't remember anything, so they'll need something to ensure it never happens again. He climbs into the time machine and is sent into the past as another time wave hits the city. When the wave passes, Sonia transforms into a strange creature, unrecognizable as human. Meanwhile, Travis finds himself at the moment of Eccles and Middleton's hunt. He catches Jenny's attention and asks her to film him. The scientist tells her that Hatton and Darris had disabled the biofilter, and that caused a big problem. When they return, they need to check the biofilter, and the recording disc should be handed to him. Jenny listens, confused about what's happening. Once his task is done, Travis tries to leave but notices a butterfly flying near Middleton's foot. Realizing what's about to happen, he jumps onto Middleton, knocking him over. Middleton screams as he sees Travis, and Travis vanishes into thin air. After the Allosaurus is killed, Travis scolds Jenny for distracting the dinosaur. She shouldn't have sacrificed her life for the rich people. Once the scientist walks away, Jenny approaches Clay and tells him that she knows about the biofilter and that it needs to be turned on. Back in the present, Jenny gives Travis the recording and asks him to watch it. She told Hatton that the camera broke and all the footage was lost because there's a second Travis on the video. When he watches it, he'll understand everything. Leaving the company, the scientist heads to Sonia Rand's apartment. She's not eager to talk, but she lets him in. He hands her the recording and tells her that he decided to quit, and that he's watched the disc twice. She should find it interesting too. It's got everything: gunfire, disasters, corruption. All of her warnings have already come true. Sonia asks where he got the recording from, and he replies that it was given to him by Travis from the future. After hearing this, Sonia takes the video and offers him a cup of tea. Do you think a person has the moral right to interfere with the past, even if it is done with good intentions or for the advancement of science? Share your thoughts in the comments down below, give a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next videos.